One way I can get into a conversation around today's topic, transforming organizations, is to ask you to think about any organization. Dartmouth College as an organization, Kodak as an organization, and think about all the initiatives that an organization undertakes. I can take all those initiatives and put them in 3 boxes. Box 1, I say, is manage the present. Box 2 is selectively forget the past. And box 3 is create the future. What research shows is organizations tend to focus very heavily in box 1 and think they are doing strategy. In fact, strategy is not about box 1. Box 1 is terribly important, no doubt, but that's not what strategy is all about. Strategy is really about box 2 and box 3. How do you create the future? And simultaneously, how do you selectively forget the past? You can't create the future by holding on to everything that's working for you today. Part of becoming a learning organization is to be very, very good as a forgetting organization. One should not only measure oneself on how good are you on the learning curve, how good are you on the forgetting curve. Unlearning is a key part of strategy. In fact, research shows that for most organizations, learning is not as big a problem as unlearning is.
Pushing the envelope in corporate America. How do companies foster experimentation and take a flyer? Some lessons are found in a new book from the Harvard Business School Press, 10 Rules for Strategic Innovators from Idea to Execution. Co-author Vijay Govindarajan is at the Tuck School at Dartmouth. He joins us on New England Business Day tonight. Vijay, thank you for coming by tonight. Let's put a framework around this. First of all, what do you mean when you talk about strategic innovation? What is it?
Strategic innovation is in response to fundamental changes in the industry. For instance, if you take a look at the last 10 years, internet is a fundamental change, which led to a lot of innovations in business models. That's what we mean by strategic innovation. A company like eBay or Amazon or Google would not have been possible without it.
An existing core business, but something that pops out of it that is fresh and new and different. I guess the iPod might be another example coming out of the Apple organization.
Exactly.
Creating this sort of thing, though, means that you are, again, taking something out of an existing core business. That means you've got to have people who probably have a different mindset, different attitude about the way they go about their work, and probably a different lens on the world.
That's right. I think probably one of the biggest problem large, established, tradition-bound, successful companies have in creating these new businesses is they tend to transfer the same people from the core business into this new business. And that may be easier to do, but that takes the existing mindset, existing behaviors, and existing attitudes.
So how would this apply, for example, to the auto industry, which in the U.S. has come under a lot of criticism for not being able to turn on a dime, much less turn on something the size of a football field?
In fact, it applies a lot. In some sense, if you look at the next 25 years, the big changes are going to come as a result of the emerging markets, say India and China, alone going to be a huge market for automobiles. But in order to create an important, innovative product for that market, they need to be thinking about a $2,000 automobile, not an $18,000 automobile. That requires fundamental business model innovation in India, in China. That means they got to recruit local people, understand the local culture, local systems, etc.
Creating something new and experimental, if you will, out of a core business or an existing business, I imagine can lead to some tensions between those in the bricks and mortar and those who are out on the high flyer.
I think tensions are going to be inevitable, because whenever you create something new, the existing organization gets threatened because the new innovation could potentially cannibalize the existing business. And also the new business is a tiny business, but it gets the same attention of the CEO and the media as compared to the existing business. So there are likely to be tensions.
You talk about 10 rules for strategic innovation. There's one I wanted to focus on here. You say the process requires forgetting, borrowing, and learning. What do you mean?
Yeah, in fact, forget, borrow, learn is the cornerstone of creating successful new business. Forget challenge is about forgetting the rules of the core business. Borrowing is the only reason the new business will survive in the large company is to borrow selectively some of the assets of the established company. And learning is about learning to operate in this new entrepreneurial space. Forget, borrow, learn are the cornerstones.
And so you take what you need from the old one and reshape it to come up with something new.